plea your way out of that?
That's kind of there's different aspects of law enforcement. You know, the law enforcement itself does the crime detection and intervention, prevention, and the arresting of the offenders, and then it kind of goes to the prosecution and then to the judicial system. So that I'll be very honest, I don't know, because they change so often, and they want to get stricter and stricter, that the mandatory minimums, I'm not sure exactly what they are. You know, every time, you know, the subsequent offenses, they turn into felonies, and the penalties increase, but I don't know about mandatory minimums. What I would say is it kind of correlates to what we said about the Milwaukee crime, is that our obligation is that when we have a case like that, that we need to make sure that we cross our T's and dot our I's, and make sure that everything is done right. So when we hand that case to the district attorney's office, there are no loopholes. There's nothing that is out of the ordinary. We read Miranda, we did everything the way we were supposed to. So the prosecution can bring forth that case, and there is not a need to plea bargain. There's no weaknesses in it that it can be proceeded with. And I think that's part of it. The mandatory minimums, if it deals with the correction side and not in the jail rather than prison, one of the things that we really do have an obligation for, and I'm talking about the drug possession, not necessarily the distribution of it, but the drug possession of it, we do have an obligation to try to give these individuals some type of skill set so that when they leave our correctional facility, they have a little more tools in their toolbox than when they were in there. But that's kind of off topic of the mandatory minimums, but that's an important aspect that I think is often forgotten, that the law enforcement needs to deal with how can I say this, if you have an individual that is addicted to drugs, if he's addicted to drugs, that is not an excuse to victimize the citizens of Washington County. And we have to make that very clear to our law enforcement and the public that the victims deserve justice. So we have to get those people into the criminal justice system and get them prosecuted so they can get further treatment down the road. And that's oftentimes one of the kind of things that's forgotten about in that equation, is their addiction you can call it a disease, but they still need to be held accountable for their actions. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a given, right, that the expectation from the public is that the sheriff's office produce quality cases to forward to the district attorney's office. That's just, I want to say, assumed. To directly answer your question is, yeah, the way the laws are written right now, the combination of drugs and stolen auto, there is no like mandatory minimum sentencing requirement that the judges have for that type of combination. You know, I guess Marty started kind of talking about some of the, a person that does get arrested on a drug offense, that they need to receive some kind of training to be able to integrate back into society. And I completely agree with that. And I do think, though, there needs to be an accountability component as well. And that's kind of why right now, the way the state law is, as far as like first offense possession of heroin and first offense possession of meth are both felonies. So it kind of puts the district attorney's office and the judges in this position where a person is either convicted of a felony, where they then, kind of harms their job prospects for their future for the rest of their life, right? Or they go into the TAD program, which is a complete and total jail diversion program where there is no criminal conviction, there is no jail time associated with it. You just go and go through this treatment process. And through the course of the mandatory counseling and treatment process, it's all outpatient, it's all outside of the jail, that if you, and you can read the TAD's own program, the TAD's own literature, that if you use drugs during that period of time, you're not automatically convicted and kicked out of the program. There's a certain level of re-drug use kind of allowed in the program, and you could still successfully complete the program. I'm going to kind of go out on a limb here tonight and say I would really think and advocate for that potentially a solution is that first offense, small amount, heroin and methamphetamine be a misdemeanor level violation. And that might sound like it's not tough, right? But it actually could allow us to get tougher on those offenses, because what you could do then is these people could be convicted of a misdemeanor, go into jail for a period of time, you serve some jail time, and you're incarcerated. That's when you literally get, detoxed off whatever drug you're on. And if you choose to participate in programming, that same program they receive now could be done out of the jail. If you successfully participate in programming, then you can qualify for, Huber type privileges. And now that you're convicted of a misdemeanor, you could still integrate back into the workforce and start to acquire life skills that will hopefully help you be able to remain, clean through the rest of your life. So I think it's something that I would advocate for. Again, it doesn't sound tough on crime, but in a roundabout way it is, because it allows accountability.